I'm going to recap the 8 seed Ohio State's football win over the 5 seed Texas as part of the CFP semifinals in the 12-team college football playoff. And I apologize for looking at it because I cannot memorize all this stuff. So Texas got the ball first. It was a 7-play, 39-yard drive that lasted 3 minutes 18 seconds. And Ohio State did give up some yards that drive, as we all know. And Texas decided, hey, go for it on 4th and 3 at the Ohio State 36-yard line. And Quinn Ewers' pass was incomplete. So Ohio State took over the ball on downs. And this is the drive right here that I thought, okay, Ohio State's going to roll over Texas, potentially. It was a 10-play, 64-yard drive that lasted 4 minutes and 18 seconds. And it was 2nd and goal at the Texas 9-yard line. And Quinshawn Judkins got a 9-yard rushing touchdown. And they made the extra point, of course. And from here is like a series of punts, to say the least. I mean, Texas had a 6-play, 27-yard drive that lasted 3 minutes, 5 seconds, and they punted the ball away. Then Ohio State, 8 plays, 43 yards, that lasted 4 minutes, 34 seconds. And Texas got the ball back, 4 plays, negative 11 yard. Really, it's 4 plays because of the the face mask on the offense. Just so y'all know. And I know Ohio State committed some penalties during these drives that self-inflicted themselves and set themselves behind. But you get the point. Yeah, and then Texas punted the ball away at the Texas 14-yard line. And Ohio State got the ball back. 5-play, 14-yard drive that lasted 2 minutes, 36 seconds. Then Texas got on the ball back. 5 plays, 15 yards for 1 minute, 45 seconds in terms of game clock. Ohio State punted the ball like 3 and out. 3 plays for 7 yards. That lasted 2 minutes, 45 seconds. Texas got the ball back. 5 minutes, 16 seconds with 1 minute, 59 seconds ran off the game clock. Ohio State punted again with the negative 7 yards in total of the drive. That lasted 1 minute, 31 seconds. It was like 1:52 left in the first half, and Texas, this drive right here, evened up the score on a 7-play, 59-yard drive that lasted 1 minute, 23 seconds. And it was a passing touchdown to Jane Blue from Quinn Ewers. An extra point was good. So Ohio State got the ball back. And it was literally a 1-play, 75-yard drive on a halfback screen to Travion Henderson. And that literally lasted only 16 seconds, so there was 13 seconds left in the half. And of course they made an extra point to make it 14-7 at that point. Now, Texas got the ball back. It was just a 2-play drive that lasted 13 seconds. The first play was a 13-yard run by Travion Wisner for 13 yards, and the Texas called timeout. There was an incomplete pass with 2 seconds left. But there was a holding on Ohio State, so another play. And it was at the Texas 48-yard line, and they tried to do a Hail Mary, incomplete. Now, Ohio State got the ball first, coming out of halftime, so they could extend the lead if they could. If they wanted to. But On a 4-play, 27-yard drive that lasted 1 minute 56 seconds, Will Howard threw an interception to the Texas 30-yard line. But Texas couldn't do anything off the turnover because they had to punt the ball away on a 4-play, 13-yard drive that lasted 2 minutes 28 seconds. And Ohio State punted the ball right back to them on a 3-play, 9-yard drive that lasted 2 minutes and 6 seconds. And Texas on a 12-play, 67-yard drive that lasted 5 minutes and 18 seconds of clock. They scored a touchdown from Jan Blue again in terms of the receiving from Quinn Ewers, this time 26 yards. Then Ohio State punted the ball for 4 plays, they get 5 yards. And it's only 4 plays because there was a personal foul on Ohio State. That's one of those you beat yourself type of deals right there. And they punted the ball right back to Texas. And did Texas take the lead? No. Because they punted on a 3-play, 5-yard drive that lasted 1 minute 16 seconds. So it's 56 seconds left in the third quarter. And they ran 2 plays. Then Texas caught at the beginning of the third. Had an incomplete pass to Matthew Golden. And then Texas had to punt the ball away. Now, this next drive coming up was very long for Ohio State, to say the least. A 13-play, 88-yard drive that lasted 7 minutes, 45 seconds of game clock. So 14:40 in the fourth quarter. And it was 2nd and goal at the Texas 1-yard line. And Quinshon Judkins got a rushing touchdown. So 21-14. But I will say, on the 4th down play, they made it look like it was going to be a screen out to the right. Screen in terms of the number of wide receivers on one side. Will Howard ran through him, or ran out the gut. That's a good play call. All right there. Now, I will say Texas did have a chance to even up this game. They did. It was 10 plays, 59 yards that lasted 4 minutes, 49 seconds. And when I go over this, the 1st and goal type, of course, it was back-to-back pass interferences on a. There was a pass interference on Ohio State when it was 3rd and 3 at the Ohio State 6-yard line in the end zone. So they moved it down to the 2. And Ohio State committed another pass interference in the end zone. So it was down to the 1-yard line. And before going over that 1st and goal sequence, the second 1st and goal sequence, I will say that this was a big drive coming up for Texas, to say the least. Okay, so 1st and goal at the 1-yard line. Jared Gibson from Texas, no gain on the play. And 2nd goal at the 1-yard line. Travian Wisner lost 7 yards on the play. And when you look at that play, it just didn't make sense. Why do a toss play? Why? And that's probably the biggest questions in Texas' minds up to right now. If you're going to run it up the middle. Sometimes you get too cute on plays, and that costs you. And it set them back. Now it's 3rd and goal at the 8-yard line. Quinn Ewers had an incomplete pass to Ryan Wingo. Now this was a big 4th down play coming up. Would Texas go for the points or go for it? Decided to go for it just to try to even out the game. And well, Quinn Ewers was sacked by Jack Sawyer for a loss of 9 yards, but he fumbled it at the same time. So a strip sack. And Jack Sawyer returned the ball for 83 yards for a touchdown. That was a back-breaking play right there for Texas in this game. Let's just say that. Because the truth is, you're down 2 possessions now. And honestly, Texas got the ball back with 2 minutes, 13 seconds, so they had to score quick if they could score. And then try to do an onside kick to get the ball back, potentially. Well, okay, it was a 3-play, 6-yard drive that lasted only 29 seconds, to say the least. It was a complete pass for Quinn Ewers to Jane Blue for 6 yards. Of course, it got to the 2-minute timeout. And 2nd and 4, Quinn Ewers had an incomplete pass to Jane Blue. And Quinn Ewers threw a pick. And it was by Caleb Downs. And it was down to the Texas 41-yard line. And practically from there, Ohio State just ran the clock out. All they had to do was just get one more first down. They win the game. And they did that on the first 2 plays. Quinshawn Judkins ran for 9 yards to the Texas 32-yard line. And Will Howard ran for 2 yards for a first down. And honestly, a team, like, they decided to kneel it at that point. So, and this was Will Howard's first win against Texas. He was 0-3 prior. So, and Ohio State did not play their best game. When you look at it, you know why. I mean, now I'm going to go with the stats. Like first downs, 18 for Ohio State, 20 for Texas. Third down, 3 for 10 for Ohio State, 5 for 15 for Texas. 1 for 1 on 4th down for Ohio State, 1 for 3 on 4th down for Texas. Ohio State had 370 yards in total, and Texas got 341. Passing yards, 289 for Ohio State on 24 completions out of 33 attempts. And of course, there was a pick, but no points on turnovers. And obviously, Texas had 283 yards passing on 23 completions out of 39 attempts, and they have a pick. But that was not points on turnovers at that point. It was more like one more first down, you win the game. And obviously, 7 points on turnovers. That makes a difference from a 1-score game to a 2-score game. So that's a minor difference, but not huge. Now, Ohio State had, this is including like sacks and tackles for loss here. And Ohio State had 81 rushing yards on 24 attempts, while Texas had 58 rushing yards on 29 attempts. And you wouldn't believe the number of penalties in this game for Ohio State. 9 of them for 75 yards. You got to clean that up in the national title game. Point blank. While Texas had 5 penalties for 54 yards. And I already went over like the turnovers. Texas won. They lost the time possession to Ohio State. 31 minutes, 38 seconds for Ohio State. 28 minutes, 22 seconds for Texas. So now we know who's in the national title game. And for the record, I did pick Ohio State to win. I admit, I was not that confident once the game got ugly for Ohio State. And this was probably the worst game since the Michigan game. Michigan lost, to be honest, for Ohio State. Let's be real. It was. And if Ohio State plays like that, I think Notre Dame could beat them. potentially. So, well, Texas finishes the year as SEC runner-ups in the first year in the SEC, and 13 and 3 overall. Of course, 7-1 in the SEC. So once again, the SEC does not have an SEC title team. SEC team in the national title game for the second straight year. I believe this is the first time since USC played Texas that right after they played Oklahoma in the title game back in the BCS era from 2005 to 2004 to 2005, and Texas still has not won the national championship since the 2005 season. So now it's another year without one. Now Ohio State, they take on the 7th seed Notre Dame on January 20th at 6:30 p.m. Central Time on ESPN in Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia. And I will preview that game later. And next week. I already got the stats pulled up. And you know what's crazy is Ohio State and Texas are playing each other week 1 to begin the 2025 football season at Ohio State. August 30th. Now, we will see what happens to Texas in terms of the offseason, and will Quinn Ewers go to the leave to the NFL draft, and all those players for Texas who's going to go to the draft that are eligible. We'll see. And of course, if they're seniors, they're done. Unless they have some Diego Pavia thing, like JUCO, and maybe one more year of eligibility. But that's just besides me here. And Ohio State now has a shot to win their first national championship since 2014 in the first year of the 14 college football playoff. If you would have told me that Ohio State would be in the national title game, I would have said, no way. After how they finished with an embarrassing loss, in terms of embarrassing, I mean, a team that you shouldn't lose to in Michigan. You lost to them. But after they destroyed Tennessee and in Oregon, it made sense to me on why Ohio State is probably going to make the national title game. It did. Now, I will say, Ohio State, you need to clean it up. What you did wrong this game, you got to correct next game. Straight up. I mean, play that to that level, no way you would win the national championship. So we're going to have to wait and see what happens. And obviously, this is why the games are played. You cannot just do hypotheticals. Oh, more talent in one team than the other one. Yep, the team with the more talent wins. Not always. I mean, Oregon lost to Ohio State. I mean, Georgia lost to Notre Dame. I mean, it's just telling the truth. So, we're going to have to wait and see what happens from here for Ohio State in terms of what they're going to do to prepare for Notre Dame, while Notre Dame needs to prepare for Ohio State now. And I think Texas gave a blueprint to Notre Dame defensively on how to slow down Ohio State. I think they did. They just didn't make enough plays on defense. That first drive early on really hurt them in this game. Obviously, those two other the offensive touchdowns, yes, no doubt about it. They just didn't get enough, and especially that screenplay right before halftime. You can't allow that big play to happen. You can't allow a 1-yard rushing touchdown necessarily. So, and you can't blame it all on Quinn Ewers either. Yes, he had to strip the sack that turned into a touchdown. But it's not on him to be necessarily. It's on that one play on Steve Sarkisian a little bit. You gotta admit that was a questionable play to pitch it out wide and then they lost 7 yards. Questionable, to say the least. And I know Quinn Ewers did throw a pick, but that didn't cost. That ultimately cost them the game anyway. But the thing about it is, you were down 2 scores. Texas had to score quick, and he threw a pick. That was practically a game right there. That was a game sealer. Not like to say the strip sack wasn't, because it was pretty close to a game sealer as you could get. So we're going to wait and see on the spread, which I know it's already out. Ohio State by 9.5. It could very well change by the time I preview the game, and even before game time, of course. So anyways, if you like this content, hit the like and subscribe button. See you guys later on the road to 7 scores. Ultimate goal is to $1 more, some money out this course. Like the video, comment video really helps YouTube algorithm. So more people can see it. Sharing the video does help as well, so more people can watch. And if you're watching and not subscribed, hit subscribe button, free the notification bell as well. And we will see whether or not next year is the case of the SEC not having somebody in the national title game. We'll see if that's the case. To me, it's all about the matchups. I mean, at the end of the day, and the draw, like in terms of the seedings and who gets the buys and all that. So we'll see.